What is a system? Well, in science, a system is a group of parts working together to perform a function. There are four main components to any system. The first is the input. This includes any material or energy that enters a system. The second is the process. This is the action or set of actions that occurs inside the system. The third are the outputs. This includes any material or energy that comes out of a system. And the fourth is the feedback. This is an output that changes how the system functions in some way. Now, it's important to note, any system can have multiple inputs, multiple processes, and multiple outputs, as well as none or more than one feedback. Systems can be biotic or abiotic. Biotic systems deal with living or once living organisms. Abiotic systems deal with non-biological things. Let me show you an example for a biotic system. In this case, we're going to look at a sheep's digestive system. So in this short video clip here, you can see a picture of one of my lambs out in the pasture eating. Now, it's really important to understand that a sheep's digestive system is much different than our own. Sheep have a four-chambered stomach. This allows for grasses and other roughage to be digested in a way that the sheep gets the most out of what it is eating. This is essentially what that four-chambered stomach looks like. So the initial input we have into that system is the grass or the other roughage that the sheep is eating. It comes into the system where it enters the first chamber of the stomach, and that's where it begins the process of digestion. After eating, the sheep will then lay down to do what's called chewing its cud. What you'll see here in this video is the sheep actually regurgitates the partially digested grasses into its mouth, where it chews it up for a second time. And she'll lay there and chew on it for a few minutes, and then after chewing it thoroughly a second time, she'll then swallow the material again, where it will enter the second, and then third, and then fourth chambers of the stomach to finish up digestion. What is not needed by the sheep is then going to leave the body as waste material. So let's do a quick review of the digestive system on our lamb. The input is the plant matter that she's eating. The process is what occurs in the four-chambered stomach and the intestines of the sheep. And in this case, we have two outputs. The first output is energy that the sheep gets from eating the food. The second output, of course, is the waste products that are not used by the body of the sheep. Now, a feedback here would be something that interrupts the internal workings of this sophisticated digestive system. Let's take a look at another example of a biotic system. This time we're going to look at your digestive system. So this is you, and you're getting ready to eat this yummy, juicy, delicious hamburger. And this is your digestive system. It's getting ready to accept that chewed up, yummy, delicious, juicy hamburger. So the input into our system here is the burger. The process occurs inside the stomach and the intestines. This is where the digestion happens. Now we're going to have two outputs with this system. The first output is energy, so you can go do whatever it is you want to do. The second output of this system is waste. This is the material your body doesn't need, so it comes out the other end. Now let's look at what happens when you have a feedback in your digestive system. So here you are again. You're getting ready to chow down on a second yummy, juicy, delicious hamburger. And your digestive system is getting ready to accept that second delicious hamburger. So the input, once again, is the burger. Now, what should happen is that it enters into your digestive system and it starts being digested by the stomach. But, wrong. Your stomach says, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it. Which means our outputs are now interrupted. No more energy. No more waste. And what ends up happening? Well, your new output is the undigested burger, which comes back out the way it came in. Now let's look at an abiotic system example. So we're going to take a look at a car. Now the first thing we're going to do is look at the inputs. We're going to concentrate on the three main inputs into a car's system. The first, of course, is fuel. The second is electricity, and that comes from the battery underneath the hood of the car. And the third is air. Your vehicle is going to take in air through what's called the air intake. Now, in order to get the system started, we have to climb in, turn the key, and that is when the magic happens. So you can see inside the engine you have what's called cylinders. And inside those cylinders we have these movable pistons that are moving up and down. Now the air and the fuel are mixed together by the vehicle and shot into the space in the cylinder. Now the spark plug sends off an electrical spark that is timed. So each time a spark plug sets off a spark, it's in time with the piston moving upward, and that creates a tiny little explosion inside the cylinder. And that little explosion is what provides energy for the car to move forward. So our first output to a vehicle is going to be energy. A second output is actually the exhaust gases, because not all of this fuel-air mixture is actually burned off. So what isn't burned off comes out the tailpipe. A potential feedback to this system could be if the exhaust gases aren't expelled properly. They can slow the airflow in the system, causing the vehicle to stop working. So here's another example of an abiotic system, a thunderstorm. The input into the system is energy from the sun's rays. When those rays hit the water, water begins to evaporate and condense to form a cloud. Now, as more water evaporates, that cloud will get bigger and bigger and bigger and even bigger until eventually you wind up with a huge thunderhead that can store no more water. And when that happens, that's right, we get our outputs of rain, lightning, and thunder. Now it's time for you to practice what you have learned. Go to the website listed in the description below. Click on Models and Systems, Lesson 10, and complete the worksheets that accompany this video. Hope you learned something today.